as usual. Didn't get to finish my tea. I want to tell you a story, right? So, if you're paying attention, either on the VOD or live, last night, I just did this. I was like, alright, I'll come back to that. Didn't actually quit out of the game. Now, that was very much on purpose, because I didn't want to lose the progress since the last time I hit an actual save. So what I always planned to do was sit down after I finished all my stuff for the night, pretty much right before I go to bed, and go finish up until like the next bench, effectively. Up until the next point where there's a clear checkpoint, it's like, okay. And then I'd finish it up in the morning. Now, what you may or may not know, depending on how familiar you are with this game, is that that was literally the last screen of the jumping puzzles. There were exactly 3 screens after that, which, I mean, technically involved jumping, but let's be honest, that was a victory lap. So we were literally on the final jump. So I immediately and effortlessly curb stomped the jump, first try, and was like, oh, okay, cool. So what happened is we go up, and we find a whole lot of corpses of the King's Guard, or whatever the hell they're called. And there's just a throne with the Pale King's corpse sitting on it. And if you do the dream nail on it, what the King's throne, what the King's corpse in the dream world says is, at any cost, or no matter the cost, or something to that effect. And of course, immediately thereafter, you get the item from him, which is the other piece of the charm, which we now currently have. No cost too great. That was it. We got the other piece of the charm after beating it out of him, and we see a brief vision, and then it's over. And that's it. It's like 3 minutes. So we got that now. See? I could, Shishki. I do like hating myself for no good reason. Before we do that, though, there's 2 other things I want to do. Also, what was the news, Mike Colono? You didn't tell me. Where am I? Where am I going? I guess down? Oh, yeah. Oh, I guess I have to equip this stupid thing? Sure. Hang on. So let's get rid of that. Oh, that, What do you got for me, Hazardous? I'm really ready to be done with this game. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you guys. I'm really ready to not be playing this game anymore. It's just... that's a good intro, Hazardous. I like that. Pretty sure I already gave that negative to gameplay. It's a shame, because I actually really like the charm system, too. As I talked about yesterday during the audit. I mean, I'm not sure what people would think of that Dragon's Hunter. They might love it. It might be the most amazing thing ever. But yeah, for those of you not aware, Elon Musk is currently trying to back out of buying Twitter. I say that way specifically because you don't just back out of a major deal once it's already been put into documents. In fact, if you're paying any kind of attention, when I was talking about the Blizzard and Blizzard Activision Microsoft merger, you might have remembered that one of the things I mentioned was the provisos for if it doesn't go through, depending on who was at fault for it not going through. Because that's how that works. Now, he might just eat the cost and say, screw it, because he can afford to do that. In which case, what just happened is he effectively just gave a huge amount of money to Twitter. All the way down? That is a lot of corpses. Yes, we'll be playing Outer Wilds either Monday or Tuesday. The reason I'm not sure about that is because I have a dentist appointment Monday morning, which is probably honestly just going to be an hour. About 50 minutes of me waiting in the waiting room, and then 10 minutes of them looking at my tooth and telling me immediately what I already know. Because that's what happens every frickin' time. And then I'll come home, and then we'll probably start a longer second shift. That's most likely, but obviously I'm not committing to that because I don't know. So, Jesus, those hurt. So whenever that happens, that's where we're at. Yes, Outer Wilds will be next. Hopefully it'll be slightly less long of a game than this one. Sorry, I don't mean to sound salty. That's just... I feel so close to the quote-unquote finish line. Does anybody else get that problem? You can see the finish line. It's right over there, and you're like, come on! But you're not at the finish line. Oh, yeah, no, that's why it's lower shock, my kimono. I feel you. By the way, for anybody who cares, I've done a little math. Small amount of math. And I can go ahead and tell you the exact moment at which we will be caught up on the schedule and be shifting back to the 8-hour shift. That will be when we start Mass Effect, specifically. In fact, that will also be when we start the new scheduling policy. That'll be the first of the lore choice games, which is funny because if you're paying attention, it is the first of the lore choice games. And then from that point on, your games will take priority. Everything else will go towards dealer's choice as filler. Well, we'll go down to 8 for now, and we'll see how that goes. Last Sunday was a good test. I felt way better after the 8-hour shift as opposed to a 10-hour shift. Like, the difference was stark. So I think 8 hours will be sufficient. That way we can still get some work done without, you know, killing me. It's okay, Valerian. It's very easy. No cost too great. Hey, that sounds familiar. 1 hour on either side, though. We'll start an hour later, and we'll end an hour earlier. Yeah, I've actually seen this scene. Mostly because I've seen the interview where they explained that they haven't explained this scene. No mind to think. As an aside, I get that the Pale King was effectively Godzilla thresholding this, but his plan really was terrible. No will to break. No voice to cry suffering. Born of God, roll eyes, and void. That's the Pale King, and that's the Hollow Knight. That's us. We shall seal the blinding plight that plagued their dreams. You are the vessel. You are the Hollow Knight. Roll credits. We're now actually permanently locked out of the bad ending, by the way. So, I mentioned an interview. In that interview, they were asked, so how do we get out? And the answer is, they don't know. So yeah, costs 0 and cannot be unequipped. I'm not sure if it does anything other than changes the ending, but... Here's one for you. Why do you think the Pale King didn't directly intervene with the Radiance, as he probably had the power to do? You know, I suppose we could just do this. Where's that one at, Frieza? Well, we have a little bit of time today to screw around, essentially, so sure. See, ironically, nobody's actually given the answer that I was going to give. I'm not going to tell you my answer. You're going to have to watch the rumination for that one. I was going to do something. And I don't remember what. Oh, right. So, I mean... Where's this stupid door? The blue door? Okay, so... Oh, right. Let's do this one. Well, this is as many as I can get without going and grabbing some, so we'll see how many we have when we get there, I suppose. Just need to be careful on our way down. Something alien to me, admittedly. Really? Yeah, Spike's there to slow me down. For no reason. It would just be faster to jump down. But game's like, no, take the slow way. But why? It's not more challenging. You take the slow way. We need our game to be longer. You think of all companies, indie companies would be immune to the longer game equals better mentality, but then again, think about how many players think longer games equal better, and, well, what can I say? It is their first game, I can't argue that. And most people probably haven't been analyzing game design for literally decades. So I suppose some things that I would consider duh, aren't. It was up. Yeah, there's honestly a lot of seconds and minutes in this game. We haven't given a separate negative for it because there's so much of it we've given individual negatives for iterations of seconds and minutes. Why? Whatever. Whoops. Hold up. There we go. Let me in. Speaking of, blue. Okay, so now we're actually going to be careful. What do we got? Yeah, I was wondering about the blue thing. Okay. Ah! Like I was talking about yesterday, I guess. We've got white, we've got amber, We've got green, and we got red, and all those are pretty well defined. Who the hell is blue? Okay. I mean, I've seen it a couple times, but it... okay. Yep, sure. Whatever. I... Yeah, at this point, if I really wanted to get the other unbroken charms, I'd just cheat for it. And cheating for something, putting up the cheat flag for something I don't even care that much about, it's not worth the effort. The main benefit of throwing up the cheat flag at this point would be we could turn on, like, infinite health or whatever, and then try out some of the boss fights we otherwise wouldn't feasibly be able to reach. Nah, I'm good, Frieza. So yeah, where's who at? So, I guess down. Yeah. Yeah, no, down is right. You know, I get that they did it on purpose, but where's my mini-map? So I don't have to do this every few feet to be like, alright, hold up. I mean, I would argue pretty strongly this is more Souls-like than Metroidvania. An opinion I had before I started playing the game, which has been absolutely reinforced by playing the game. Oh, ironically, I am one of those people, Juju's. Dark Souls 1, 3, Sekiro. I'd say Bloodborne as well. Are all, Metroidvanias. Didn't I already fight this boss? Okay. I guess I did already fight this boss. Wait, child, why have you come here? Have you come to tame this savage, ruined land? Many have come to purify this place, but all who dwell here are eventually consumed. Yes, even the wild bugs lurking below us. They were once proud like you, but now they're only monsters. Beware of dreams of glory, child. Turn back and do not return. Okay. Oh, that's cute. Like, that's whatever. But that can go straight to hell. Oh my god, that timing. Especially since, if I'm remembering correctly, you can fight this guy before you have the invuln on that. Actually, can you fight this guy before you have dash period? My mind, it clears. We've been sleeping, child. I remember those proud lords. They're truly monsters. I remember their eyes now, bright and clear. Why did I fear them so? There's madness in that village. It was I who brought it. They were right to cast me out. When I attacked, they were right to... They were right to kill me? Ah, right. Yes, you're dead. Ah, okay. Well, either way, thank you, Melkor Blade. I do always appreciate, and that's going towards Rayman Legends. Yes, okay. Okay, so now to be stuck in the final boss for 3 hours. We got this. My health is sad, Dream Whisperer. So here's a dumb question. Do I have to do anything special to activate the second final boss? Actually, there is, my commander. We're just not doing that. But yes, outside the fight is what I really meant. You know what I probably should do? This is... Is there a refill your soul thing at the bench? I guess I'll find out in 2 seconds. Wow. Okay, whatever. Wow, that's a lot of plague. Oh yeah, I suppose we should end the guessing game right now. But if you haven't guessed, this is a good time to get your guess in. Oh, we're 100% beating the game today. There's only one last question I'm debating. It depends on how fast we beat the final boss here. The path is opened. One way or another, an end waits inside. I won't be joining you in this. The space is built to sustain your likes. Its binding would drain me were I to join. Don't be surprised. I'll not risk my life in your attempt, though if the moment presents, I'll aid if I'm able. Could it achieve that impossible thing? Should it? Those are both good questions. But I didn't hear answer to my previous question. That is a good point. I could go do that. Is there a fast way down there? Eh, not really. Well, we opened the seal. Bye. Time to go do chocobo racing for 12 hours. Bye. Tell you what, you've got until I get this charm to get your guesses in. Really? Okay. Stuff like that is why that's not a positive. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we're going to die a lot to the Radiance. I've seen the Radiance fight, although I might be mistaking in my head with the absolute Radiance fight. My dear, a blessing for you. With your excessive patronage and those startling good looks, you've more than earned it. Gross. Yes, I hope my blessing brings you everything you desire. Don't be a stranger, sweetums. Dear, dear, I'm going to hold it together. It must appear calm, but this creature is just divine. Oh my god. At least that refills pretty quickly. I'm sure someone of your terrible, terrible skills is gonna die instantly to the Divine Radiance. It's like, oh, thanks. Okay. Let's see what we got. Yes, here's where they sealed away the infection. And how they sealed away the infection. Alright, let's get rid of that. There's our audio spam. Gotta get that audio spam in. Very important. You like audio spam, right? Because we added some audio spam for your audio spam. Screw it. Let's go full melee. See how this works out. Shut up. Right. I did forget to add that to the list last night. Let's go ahead and do that really quick. I mean, if we're going to go full mage build, we can go full mage build. I guess. So, hang on. So let's pull out a melee. And... oh, yeah. And negative for Elder Who. I knew I was going to write something else down. God, wake up, Lore. Oh my god, would you shut up? It's actually interfering with my ability to think straight at this one. It's like, hang on. Okay, let's go with that. Let's see how that full mage build, sort of. Shut up. Vessel, though bound, you shall know the state of the world. Hellenest will be whole again. We have completed 103%. It's obviously higher than I thought it was going to be. Considering how many things we've kind of deliberately not done. And one thing we did, but the game cheated me out of. No, I'm not letting that go. Bye, Hollow Knight. Oh, you want me to... okay. Sup? You've grown a little bit. Roll credits. God, that's gross. Literally being carried by the plague there. Just being flesh puppeted by it, essentially. Shut up! My fault for not walking into the run with full soul. Can I just reset? Whatever. Yeah, I thought that too. Schmight off. I forget when I noticed that, but it was interesting. Come on, refill my soul. Thank you. Now shut up. Ironically, I feel like if I was doing my melee build, I'd be doing a lot better here, but you know, Radiance. What they can do here. Probably just leaving Plague wherever it goes. I suppose I would say it at this point. That's bullcrap. That's why I called that bullcrap act. If that's just a timer thing, that's actually still bullcrap. It's just bullcrap in a different direction. It's an extraordinarily tight window. I don't feel like trying now. Get out of... Go away. Go. Oh yeah, I should probably actually lock down the guessing sheet like I kept saying I was going to do. We'll do that while we listen to the best audio spam in the game. That isn't the flukes. Obviously the flukes are the best audio spam in the game. Ugh. What the hell is Freddy's Fazbear's Pizzeria? Oh. I mean, assuming I wasn't going to get horribly murdered, there would be no real detriment to that, so sure. Alright, so let's get rid of the pets. Which sucks. I was hoping to try out the pets as a mono build against her, but I don't even get to try, apparently. So let's de-mono build and think about this for a second. I see no purpose in quick slash, but we'll go ahead and do quick slash. I've never seen an actual value in quick slash. At least not, sorry, not on boss fights. That feels slightly too loud. Now to die. And the best part is, pretty sure this has no mid-mission checkpoint. I don't know anything about this fight. Yep. See what hit me there. Still not seeing what's hitting me. I was gonna say, we have that visibility problem and the mid-mission checkpoint problem. That's great. Just wait until the extremely satisfying ending, as all Souls games have such satisfying endings. What about them, Traxxon? There's design here? I'll tell you what I think about the final bosses. I think they're designed more for story than for gameplay, like the entire rest of the game. That's true. Code Vein actually managed to have a decent outro. It's weird. No, we gave up even trying, Triaxia. Yeah, you notice I was deliberately just trying to face nuke him. Because, you know. Health refill. Which actually makes that less egregious than some other final bosses I could name. Cough, cough, Cyber Shadow. Only irritants about what was otherwise a decent out. There it is. I see it this time! Homing. Oh, Jesus. God. I'm also gonna get rid of Quick Slash. I really don't think that's useful here. Oh, never mind. Well, shoot. I guess we'll keep Quick Slash for whatever reason. There's nothing else worth getting, is there? That was me, RJ. Sorry, I wanted to conquer Canada, and I figured, you know, best way, right? Shop and Stone. Sure. Wrong thing. That has to do with anything Crazy Norse, but, you know, worthy of note. It's hard to see coming. And... oh, no. We're almost dead. Now we're actually... God, I wish I could have a freaking health bar here. Yeah, this game hasn't really had a run back problem, which is nice. Soul Master is bad bench placement, admittedly. I mean, Soul Tyrant. I guess it's the same. Emulation is something I am 100% in favor of, and think we need to officially endorse in addition to making a more regular thing, especially not just for making sure that games are portable into modern systems, but also making sure that we are preserving history in the quite literal sense of the word. I am extraordinarily pro-emulation. Yep, that was whatever. And we're dead. Oh god, Shishki, that'd be awful. I will also admit the Mark and Recall spell kind of helped with some of the run back problems. I suppose there is a little bit of a run back problem. Oh yeah, Crazy Nurse is quite correct. There are literally games that have been preserved as a consequence, and spread too, as a consequence of emulation, because the companies in question have either failed, or not tried, or been incapable. That's another interesting little niggle. Because not every company going against emulation is because of incompetence or stupidity. That's an interesting question, RJ. Do you own Breath of the Wild? Because Breath of the Wild's easy to get a hold of. Unlike, say, an original copy of Hydelite on the NES. That's a dumb example. It's the first thing that came to mind. I mean... You know my thoughts on this, since, you know, the streamability gap is an actual problem here. Bull crap. Bull crap. All the bull crap. But yeah, and if you ever hear a company talk about, oh my god, the piracy, it's because they're stupid. Either they're, I'm sorry, that's not fair. They're either stupid or deliberately lying. I mean, to stretch the metaphor a little bit, it's like someone saying climate change isn't real. They're either an idiot or they're lying through their teeth. Take your pick. Probably because they're being paid to. Yeah, sorry, I was just a little too reckless there. Honestly, probably not Triaxia. Konami doesn't give a crap and has no reason to bother. And they're the ones who make that call. And that's why I mentioned the thing about the emulation thing, too. Because a company can't effectively like Nintendo does not have the legal capacity to put every NES game on their archive, for example. They have to procure those rights individually, and in some cases, those rights don't even exist anymore. Or they're not sure who holds them. So there is another layer to this other than just stupidity and lying when it comes to the anti-emulation stance. I disagree with that. It'd be nice to see if I'm like 10% through the boss, 5%. No. It'd be nice to see if I'm getting absolutely anywhere whatsoever. I hate to keep bringing that up, but it's really nice having a boss. That's not a Souls-like thing. That's an everything thing. I like being able to see how much health the boss have. Bothers me in JRPGs, too, where it's like, alright, how far am I into this boss fight? Oh, maybe 10 HP from killing it for all I know. The best part is that actually changes your strategy in some cases. Because if you know that the boss is at, say, 500 HP and you're having trouble keeping up, well, then you should keep trying. Just refine your tactics a bit more. If you know the boss has 5 million HP left, and you're getting nowhere and you're just getting curb stomped, then you should probably stop trying. And go level or readjust your strategy or something. Like, I know that sounds like a strange thing, but I like to know whether or not I'm wasting my time. Hi, Anapathetic. That's true, it also helps to give feedback on attacks. It can tell you whether or not you're doing, like, good damage with a certain thing, or if it's weak, or immune to something, or strong against something, or whatever. That was admittedly a good fight. Hornet's okay because she has to start on the sequel. I did, Traxia. I mean, by all accounts, we did permanently erase the Radiance. I'd say that's probably a net positive on the setting. Probably because the light was causing everyone to go insane and crazy and evil. Actually, if I were to guess. Unfortunately, I think we are continuing the Souls-like trend of that being a rather unsatisfying outro, narratively speaking. But let's jot down some thoughts here. That's gonna be whatever. Yeah. We did it, I guess. Did we do it? I mean, that's debatable, honestly. Oh, I totally do. TJT. That is super a negative. That being said, so I'm going to give a story plus for the actual fights, a story negative for the ending, if you could even call it that, a gameplay plus for the Radiance fight. Looking forward to the sequel. Really. Then we have... No, that's it, Crazy Horse. That's why that's an unsatisfying outro. No, I don't think so, Shishki. Especially since they themselves didn't even explain it. So, hang on. Permadeath mode. Ooh, what did he do about that? So we're going to do something weird here. Since we got a little bit of time, and we're... Like, there's no way to make up this time. There's no way to just start Outer Wilds. Unless you want to free me from doing Rumination. Which I would be totally cool with doing. As I always say. Let's see here. What do we have? What are our options here? Because I know the answer before I even ask, Shishki. This Outer Wilds will start either afternoon shift on Monday, that's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or it'll start on Tuesday. I'm not sure which. Depends on how the dentist visit goes. So if anybody cares about that, that's where that's going to be. So hold on just a sec. Let's get away from Yammered Boy there. I could have just warped up here, whatever. Let's see here. That's a good question, Dream Whisperer, which is why I'm not committing to anything. Because, yeah, if, like, I go, then we're probably not going to be streaming. No, as a reminder, this is Saturday. I do have to get groceries sometime, Crazy Norse, so that's why we're not starting Outer Wilds today, no matter what. I still got to do something other than stream. So let's do this. That would be funny. How does this work? Oh, right, I have to do this. This is an interesting feature. So this is Spaceball mode right here. Except much easier, since you can recover if you fail. Let's see, what else we got here? Is there anything to... That's it. There is. A first Metroidvania. It's actually a tough one. But I actually kind of agree with Dakoita. Symphony of the Night... So the problem with Soten is getting a hold of a copy of it. It hasn't really been super ported forwards. But if you can get a hold of a copy of it, I would probably recommend Soten first. After that, Dread as... I would not recommend Dread as a first. There's also Bloodstained, although I can't recommend that one because I haven't played Bloodstained. Ahead of Super Metroid, I love Super Metroid to death, and it is an excellent game. It is also a little bit mean, and does carry some old design issues which kind of drag it down a little bit. Granted, so does Soten, but honestly, Soten, and I mean this as, you know, someone who speedruns Metroidvania games, Soten is a lot more new player friendly than Super Metroid is. Soten, among other things, lets you level up and change your gear outlet, or load out, which allows you to kind of change the difficulty for yourself, whereas Super Metroid, if you don't have it, you don't have it. I guess this is it. I guess that's as good as we got. Unless... Ah, here we go. Oh, that's interesting. Soten was originally PlayStation 1. I believe there is a copy on the PlayStation Portable, which is the one we streamed a while ago. And to my knowledge, that's it. There are quite a few modern Metroidvanias on the PC. Unfortunately, I've played almost none of them. So I have a hard time giving any of those as a suggestion. Apparently Soten's also on the PS4, so if you've got that, that's also an option. I wonder if we could just do this. Let's just try this. See if this works. Those people are stupid, Spartan. Okay, so let's see how this plays. With you in a minute. Just give me a minute here. Okay. Let's go. First, let's kill Grim. Let's see how long this takes. Oh, right. I should give myself infinite soul, too. There. So first we're going to play around a bit, just see how the fight is. Although we've actually already shown off this fight. That's right, it's fluke time! I can't even see what I'm doing with all these frickin' flukes. Notice as he's dying, he explodes in red instead of yet with amber, which of course shows which particular dream being is influencing him. Damn it, Jesse, I told you not to fracture you back. I know you like to be contrarian, but come on. Is that it? Is he dead? No, there's something else called the Nightmare Heart, which is what is the source of the red. Unfortunately, we know extraordinarily little about the Nightmare Heart. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's all we know about the Nightmare Heart, is that it exists. And that's about that. Man, I sure hope that I don't finish that quest. That would be terrible. Hold on. Let's turn off some of these. Like, let's get rid of this room. Let's get rid of the Defender's Crest. And Joni's, I think? Yeah, let's get rid of all the blue ones. I don't see we don't need any of those. We good. Okay, so we have a couple of Geo now. Could be Frieza. Again, admittedly, I'm not sure. So, let's see. There's at least 3 bosses I know of we haven't killed. Here. No, we will not be putting up the cheat flag. This absolutely does not count as cheating. Cheating for the sake of testing is not cheating. You'll notice I didn't bother to do this until beating the game. Whoops. So we've got False Knight 2, we've got Soul Tyrant, we've got the Colosseum. Hold up. Hold up. We need to save someone from a moron really quick. So what is it, 2 more times? Something like that. God, that's satisfying. That, oof. I can't even talk to her anymore. Great Prince, your words are repeating. Okay, so hang on. So one more. I'd say Grimm's music, Stephen Craig, and that's it. 2 more. We already killed him once, though. So we have, as of now, killed him twice. Do we have to kill him 4 times? Okay, 4. By which I mean 1 more. And while we're here, Greta, you're better than this. So at 4, he is the vigorous, diligent, overwhelming, gorgeous, passionate, terrifying, beautiful, powerful, gray Prince Zote the Dope. It was the only way, Stephen Craig. You're not talking to anybody now. You're talking to the air, Zote. Hey, Roscoe Porter. Her gray prince diminished and her white savior revealed as beast. The maiden at last understood the truth. Her life's companion would not appear, for they could not appear to a mad and sad idol. She must instead seek them out, must find her love, and free them of their solitude. And thus her own journey began into dangerous lands, shielded by her love awaiting, guided by her love to be. With every step, the maiden could feel it, their fated meeting coming ever closer. I heard a piercing cry from the well. It echoed about my mind and left me in a daze. I'd say it was a foul beast's death, but this cry sounded different. Divine? Has something happened? I wouldn't worry about it. Anyways, and then she dies in the middle, just the end. Alright, so. Let me think. Unfortunately, there's no teleport cheats that I'm aware of. Yeah, we can do failed champion. Really act. This is turbo cheating. I mean, there's the badges I have equipped, in case you missed that. Wrong way. There might be DJT? Oh, for God's sakes. Get out of my way! Oh my god, these stupid elevators. It'd be fine, Jesse Ward. We just turned the cheats off, and... Why can't I turn the cheats off? Oh my god. Stupid elevators. Have the power of absolute power. Can't get around elevators. Speaking of... See, I actually thought about that as a game design idea at one point in time. The problem is, I don't like the idea of punishing the player for cheating, especially if I have built-in cheats. I like the idea more of changing the narrative based on the player cheating, not necessarily making it worse, just better. Or difference, right? Okay, so, ahem, asshole. I killed you legit. You just robbed me of it. So this time... you're gonna have a bad time. Yeah, get dunked on, buddy. Hey, he actually died this time. Jackass. In my dreams I could see it, the kingdom's salvation, the cure for the plague. The answer was in the soul that animates our bodies. Yes, I do, Traxy. We beat him as the second to last boss fight. But the king, why? He opposed everything I did. His jealousy, his madness. By standing against me, he robbed me of my immortality. Now the king and his kingdom are dead, but I will live forever. Narrator. He did not live forever. Well, hang on, because all we need to do is just go kill what's-his-face, right? So... what? Oh, I don't have one set right now. Okay. I probably shouldn't be up here. So yeah, let's go do the failed champion really quick. The slow way. And yeah, we didn't get the upgraded Dung Defender. So that's something we can do. I'm actually weirded out that it doesn't save your mark and recall spot across saves. Like, there's nothing that mechanically means you can do that. I mean, imagine just quitting Morrowind, for example, and it just erases your save and recall spot. You know what I mean? But it's whatever. We'll go and set up a new spot. And we'll do it right by a waypoint. And we'll just leave it there. That way we basically won't have to save and quit, like, ever again. Just pop it right here. There we go. I forgot. My character name is debated. Several people disagree on what the name of our character is. Some call him Ghost, some call him the Knight. There's actually like 5 or 6 different options there. I like to call him Ghost because that's what Hornet calls us, and she's honestly the one who would know the best, by virtue of being the one who interacts with us the most. But yeah, the Knight, it doesn't work for me, so I prefer Ghost as well. I mean, that does keep happening, Trax, yeah. I believe I can fly. Sorry. So, possible Shishki, in which case that's on me. I kind of want to see what this boss fight actually does, so now that I've pushed him out of a Vuln phase, let's watch for a second. That shockwave is just the worst. I remember that's what was throwing me so bad last time. Oh, that and the frickin' plague pustules. I got a bit more health than last time. I wanted it, the strength to protect others. When I saw that knight sleeping safe in his big armored shell, it wasn't madness that drove me to it, I just wanted it. But in the end, if strength cannot save you, then what can? So now we could go to the seer if we wanted to. Speaking of which, let's see if we can teleport. Hey, we can. Hopefully that wasn't my internet going out just now. Yes, only cheating can save you in the end. True in real life, too. That's resting grounds, I think. Ah, Wielder, you've returned. Let me take a look at the Dream Nail. So much essence, so bright. You truly are the wielder my tribe so long has dreamed of. Folk of my tribe were born from a light similar to essence, similar to that powerful blade, although much brighter still. They were content to bask in that light and honored it, for a time. But another light appeared in our world, a worm that took the form of a king. How fickle my ancestors must have been. They forsook the light that spawned them, turned their backs to it, forgot it even. And so this kingdom was born from that betrayal. But the memories of that ancient light still lingered. Hushed whispers of faith. Until all of Hallownest began to dream of that forgotten light. Ah, but what's done is done, and so am I. The wielder has at last appeared, and I've held the memories of our tribe for long enough. It's time for us to be forgotten, too. Don't remember us, wielder. Don't honor us. We do not deserve it. Ah, I'm sorry. Light. Radiance. I remember you. Yep, that's the end of the mods. They went the way of the Ant Kingdom. Sort of. We are an empty vessel that contains a fairly large amount of void energy, combined with the essence of one of the worms. Now, I very strongly think that we are still a person underneath all that. But that is debatable, of course. Oh yeah, there's also some root in there, too. Okay, back. We're good. We did talk to the White Lady, yes. Miss Root. What? I agree. I think we've undergone, at the very least, some droid effect. So. I did Trax it before we fought the final boss. Hey, look, the third Colosseum. Alright, what do you want? 800 for Colosseum 3. I mean, they do a really good job of it, Belcor. For the glory of being a fool. Let's get through this. Oh yeah, gross. Warning. But, sorry. As I shotgun some enemies here. Yeah, this ain't so bad. It's cool. That one's cool. Still not that bad. I mean, those enemies suck. You can see how much health they have, how long it's taken me to kill them. That is. Those are... a bunch of them. Guess we fight all at the same time. What? Now we're starting to see the mantids. So there's a reminder, hit for 2 damage per hit. Isn't that guy a mini-boss? Well, that guy was a new enemy, because I just heard the "you just killed an enemy for the first time" sound. First or final, but still. What is that? Oh, that was a boss. I remember that thing. Okay, this is cool. This is a refill point. Oh. Now playing Mega Man X again. Nothing too bad. Worst enemies in the game. That's cool. That's cool. Mantids. More Mantids. Still playing Mega Man X. Really high health Death Dooms, which are arguably worse than the worst enemies in the game. Start shotgunning a little bit here. Yeah, all of this without a checkpoint. We are, of course, not done yet. But yeah, that Mega Man X section, that just... wow. Okay. The God Tamer. Good morning, Eva. $3,000, aka Not worth it. But we are a fool now, so that's cool. Hang on. I'm going to get rid of that one, I think. And... where to, FN Craig? Hi, Blue Hero. Yeah, we have to do Dung Eater as well at some point. Or Dung Defender, excuse me, not Dung Eater. Different characters. Different characters. Yeah, we're just kind of roaming around, poking at new content, seeing what we got. Why? Kill. Hurt. Poor Tiso. We never actually fought him. He wasn't even good enough for us to fight. Let's see. Excuse me. So... yeah, I think you're right. So that's... this one? Yeah, this won't work. Morning, Ryman. Oh, I'd say about 80% of it, Melkor. Thank you, Ryman. I will put that towards Max Payne 3. I'll roll my eyes at you. Yes, we finished White Palace. We've actually beat the game. That's why we're just kind of screwing around showing off stuff right now. Like this. We... I mean, we could try out the Path of Pain. It's going to be a little different since we're literally immune to spikes right now. And you're like, but you can turn... No. Not good. Yep, nope, this is it. And then... we just want to go, like, right over, right? Right here. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Didn't even see that. Oh wow, there's an invisible wall there. Or, I guess, ceiling. The White Defender. guy's got some health. I was gonna say, that's a lot of health. Interesting. You see that in the background? My friends, I will protect our dear kingdom. Have faith in me. We will all meet again. I promise it. And it never happened. Thank you, Nimi. I will put that towards dealer's choice. It's a good question, Jesse Ward. As I've said many times, there's implications that there's other kingdom or other kingdoms out there, so maybe back before, you know, the Radiance started coming back, they had contact with them. Good for bad. Could have also been internal stuff. I mean, we got the mantid right over there, we got the spiders, we got the bees. There's not a lot of ants around here. The moveset's getting interesting, isn't it, boy? Wish I could cheat in more damage, but unfortunately it looks like the best damage I can do is just spamming this. It'd be funny as if Krang just shows up in the middle of it, Blue Hero. My king, I believe in you. I believe in Hallownest. My devotion will never falter. Okay, so that's... How many of these are there? Random question. Those two. 4... okay. It's not terrible. And then, I guess we'll go there. Yeah. Is there anything else someone wants me to show off other than... I guess we could do the flower quest. So, where do we start the flower quest? Or actually, here's a better question. What's the route to starting the flower quest? Well, I was going to do that last, Shishki. My King Hallownest will be reborn, glorious and bright, just as it always was. Jesus, 4 damage. So, here's a further question. Does anybody know the fastest walking route between the resting grounds and the garden? My king, we will all be together once more. Okay, so that was 4. Well, pretend for a moment that I'm very stupid, Schmenoff, and don't really know a good route to take the map. Also pretend I can fly. Really? No, okay, we'll do 5 then. Unless I've lost count, which is possible, because this is pretty boring. Stop having so much health. God. That's new. Of course I can fly Blue Hero. All bosses and any percent. Specifically not. I've only seen the 2. I should probably mention I haven't seen all of the all bosses run. Only portions of it. How funny that I see you in my dreams too, little one. Your noble bearing reminds me of our dear king. When he returns, I'll ask him if you can become a knight. What jolly adventures we'll have. Oh, you're awake and looking well rested. I was startled when I woke to find you curled up beside me, but of course, you're welcome to rest here whenever the world wearies you. As the king granted his kingdom to shelter those who needed it, I offer my home. Stay as long as you like, down here where it's cozy and warm and moist. Gross. My cave may see a far cry from the finery of the palace, but even still, the memories of my former comrades and our glorious king remain fresh in my mind. The Pale Court was a wondrous place full of the age's greatest heroes. Ah, looking at you now, I can easily imagine you standing amongst them. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. He really is, Loke. Okay, so... Resting Grounds is way up there, so let's just do this. Zote can go to hell. Resting Grounds. Listen, if you beat up Zote a bunch, he gets a golden statue. Isn't that worthwhile to ensure his memory? His glory? Spirit's Glade? And then, okay, so... I guess down, left, and up? Or we can just go straight. Although that's a little windy. Whatever. Let's get to her first. No, it's good, DJT. I was just hoping for efficiency to speed it up. I can make it. It's just I'd rather not slow mode it, you know. It's apparently not the way. I realized as soon as I realized that was the Kickstarter run. God damn it. Where is this twat? Yeah, sorry. I ruined your flower. Sorry. This one is equally sacred and fragile, even though you have an infinite amount of them. I guess we didn't, Schmidolf? Yep, this flower is equally fragile and sacred. What's wrong there? Obviously. Well, we'll figure out Crystal Boss 2 in a minute. Let's go left first. And then down. Yes. Yeah. Excuse me. No, 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 no! I hate elevators so much. Oh, you said, yeah, whatever. God damn it. Yeah, no, this is right. This is right. Why not, Schmidolf? Jesus, Schmidolf. That's just showing off at that point. That would be cool, Blue Hero. And again, I think this game would actually really benefit from having co-op. There's several ways they could do it, too. Okay, so now, hang on. Okay. I mean, a little bit, Frieza? But no, this seemed like the most logical route to me. And probably the fastest. Literally invincible. This is just what my everyday is like, really. This is why I probably wouldn't do this normally, because of that vertical death I just went through right there. Yeah. Another vertical death. Where am I going? Exactly. But thank you, Jesse Ward. Always. And if you know where you want to put those, please let me know. You got it. White Knight Chronicles 2. I hope you get your pain meds soon. I hope to see you for Suikoden 1. Where am I going? There. Okay. Here sleeps the traitor's child. So I hate to be dismissive, but that's it, right? Like, obviously that's going to change part of the ending, theoretically, but that's it, right? All the way back? Can I teleport now? Good. Oh, that's right. It's the Godseeker that gets... Friggin' Godseeker. Always being in the way. Yeah, what's the fastest route to Crystal Boss, too? Not the easiest. Not the least dangerous. The fastest. You've done this thing? Is it possible? Oh, this world's cruelty, I thought it overwhelming. Such great compassion, that my love would know her partner's heart even eons past. Is it that? Such grief can end? Can she end? Ah, she too can end. Oh, that's messed up, but sure. Actually, yes, Evo. Now, that was before the current system, but we did actually do a review run of, well, I forget the Heroes of Might and Magic Dark Messiah, I believe is the full title, but yes, we did actually run that one. Very strange game. Okay, so... to Dirtmouth. Yeah, Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, aka Physics the game. It had a lot of clever ideas, hampered by some pretty bad game design, but I'll always give that game credit for trying stuff. Ironically, kicking people into off of ledges wasn't the best part for me. It was that rope, the rope arrow. That was awesome. All right, where am I going? Up. Okay, got it. We're gonna go up anyways. Up we go. Yes, we have become the loathsome dung eater. As you can see. Yeah, not that great. But again, we did kind of cheat. Yeah, we actually are playing Outer Wilds right now. It's just, you know, this is how we get around it. Outer Wilds. Alright, so... is anything left other than Dot Home? Path of Pain. Leg Eater. Where he is. I mean, as much as it'd be fun to see Leg Eater get eaten by Divine. What's the fastest way to the junk pit? So, here. Another reason the map isn't good, or rather great. It's a really minor complaint, but you pull up the map, and it doesn't really center the map. You also can't move the map around. So it's like, there's always a second of, alright, hang on, where am I? Squirrel's fine. He's fine. He decided to commit suicide by old age. We're good. Oh yeah, and if you fill out the hunter thing, it's like a fake out boss fight. Spoilers. I'm like, oh, God, Jesus, I like this again. It's like, oh my God, I'm gonna kill you, but then he doesn't. Unfortunately, there's no cheat for filling out the bestiary, so that's not happening. A video game rather than a book? I mean, all of them. What the heck is fun, Blue Hero? Well, yeah, of course the reward was the hunt. What else would it be? Okay, so... yeah, no, I'm good. Do I have to put any binding up, or is that purely optional? Okay. Like, I like the option. I'm not trying to be negative. I want to make sure I'm doing it right. How much damage are we doing with that per hit nowadays, anyways? With the Shaman Stone on. And I think that's all that's boosting our damage on that. Obviously, it can hit multiple times, too. But, I mean, per hit. I was just about to say, who is this? Literally. I'm not even memeing. That was my first thought. Who is this boss? I do like how the Colosseum's just kind of moved to the area. By the way, if you check it out, the crowd kind of watches where you are. Especially the queen there, whatever she's doing. I'm really sorry about this, Hornet. But you're dead. Become one with Gorb. Oh, deja vu. The loathsome. You gotta say it right. The loathsome Dung Defender. Barely remembered boss. Why hast thou crept into this Pantheon, O meager one? The noise of thy wriggling creates much discord, drowning out the godly resonances we attune ourselves to. Dost thou mean to thwart our sacred goal? Dost the envy drive thou to such madness? We pray the gods of this kingdom punish thee, obliterate thee, utterly destroy thee. Creep on me going, and may the gods utterly destroy thee. Yeah, that's not likely, buddy. Whatever. It's a shame Savacom's not here. She'd probably appreciate me basically spamming Ultima. What are you talking about, Mr. Red? This is a normal gameplay to just spam my most powerful spell over and over and over. 5 minutes and 27 seconds. We haven't gotten to a new boss yet, Schmidolf. But yes, we are totally cheating on the new bosses, too. Wait, the duo was a new boss? I believe you. Thou most ungrateful of blemishes, the gods in their great mercy allow thee to escape the first Pantheon alive. Yet still do you think to test thyself against their might. Doom thyself then, and we may resume our focus and ascend our minds ever higher. Yes, Eva, we beat the game probably about an hour ago at this point. God, I wish I could attack faster. Hey, Deja Vu. You bug out on me this time, I'm gonna be upset. We're probably good. I'd question this. But, you know. At this point, whatever. Oh, there was a fun one. Hey, internal system error. Thank you very, very much for the sub. Oh, hit anything with that. And welcome to the Ear Club. If you want to put that anniversary sub towards something, please let me know. Thank you again. Let's see here. Ooh, excuse me. Dungeons 3, you got it. Oh, screw you. Go away, Marmu. Boss of the game. O gods of Hallownest, show us your might. We shall attune ourselves to thee and ascend ever higher. Ah, will the gods not relieve us of this troublesome speck? How it tests us, seeing this worm raise its filthy weapon to the gods. Thou hast luck beyond luck, O speck. The gods of this pantheon, for a purpose beyond our understanding, allow you amongst them. Truly the divine punishment they must be planning for you will be beyond all reckoning. Prepare thyself, prepare thyself. Thou canst linger here, O coward of cowards. Step forth and receive thine holy punishment. Hi, Alex. So this one should be new.
Yes,
The Paint Master! Alright, what we got? That's interesting. Very colorful fight. Actually, I did know that, Alex. Well, I just sort of accepted taking Zekel every night for about a year and a half there. I like it.
Bam. Finna.
Five minutes 30 seconds. So this better be unlocked now. Could someone do me a favor to be efficient about this? Look up if there's a mod that makes you do just a lot more damage, or maybe gives you, like, control over your damage output. Something like that, please. Lowly brute, blindest of worms, again thee challenge the gods. What divine whim has granted thee the strength to endure their presence where no others may stand? Fight then, struggle then, and keenly shall we listen for thy destruction. Oh, screw you. RNG bullcrap fight. This ant. Speaking of RNG fights, yeah, the background's a little bit more distinct. By contrast, the collector is much harder to see on this backdrop. A damage limit mod. Speaking of ants. I know it's weird, isn't it, RJ? That's a good damn question, Triaxia. Made out of void, whatever it is. Sorry, Grim. Not bowing is faster. Probably Shmanov. And yes, I do. Obviously. No, I'm just magically fighting bosses over and over and over rapid fire. I'm that powerful. I can just snap my fingers and make a boss fight appear in front of me. Really? The invincible, fearless, sensual, mysterious, enchanting, vigorous, diligent, overwhelming, gorgeous, passionate, terrifying, beautiful, powerful, mighty... Zote the Dope. Damn, boy. Oh. Okay. As the fight just kind of slows to a crawl here. Yeah, up a little bit. Up a little bit. Right in the middle. Right in the middle. Oh, there they are. Say, where's the other friggin' jellyfish? That works. That's... yeah. That's actually pretty awful. The people, Mr. Red. Oh, right. Little ghost, what dreams we share. Right, what am I doing? I'm fighting. Hi, Hornet. I can't wait to cheat in your game, too. To show off the optional bullcrap that will likely be in your game. Thou art painfully persistent. Why dost thou defile this Pantheon with thy presence? Seek ye glory, O vain one? Thou misunderstand our purpose. Through ritual combat are we attuned to the voices of the gods. Ever higher do they lead us, higher and higher and higher, until through our godly focus we attain communion with that great power sleeping in the kingdom's heart. Dost thou understand our words? Will thee allow thyself to be destroyed by the gods of this pantheon? Will thee allow us to resume our sacred attunement? No. Okay, hang on. Boy's got some reach. Speed, too. I was gonna say, is he gonna start using his other abilities? Interesting fight. Okay. That's... what? X? I'm confused. Godseeker mode unlocked. Ooh. So, hold up. Let's take a pause. Be right back. I'm just gonna grab some water really quick. All right. Let me do a little researchinating here now that we're at this point. Three damage doesn't sound like that's really useful. Listen, you gotta let that cat know that you don't like that cat. For whatever reason. Well, let's test something, shall we? Easy, Evo. You be another cat. Oh, this isn't the final one? Okay. O gods of Hallownest, graciously thee open the way to this greatest of Pantheons. Thy voices grow closer and thy resonance draws us ever higher. Pray will we, attune will we, until that spark of divine light shines from deepest darkness. Bad bosses. So Cloth isn't here to save us this time. Yeah, I saw it, actually. There is an actual end to this, yes, from I was wondering why the ground slam wasn't working. I figured I was just aiming it wrong. Don't worry, we're finishing it today, Kay. One way or another. Yeah, doing this legit would probably take several more days, if not weeks. Yeah, never mind with handicaps, let's just ignore that. really was hoping to increase my damage. Speed this up a little bit, you know. Let's see, I've got Invuln, infinite HP, infinite MP, and... Actually, I don't have infinite HP, I just can't be hit. But the other one I have is I have infinite equip slots, so I have almost every charm equipped right now. Absolutely does not have accessibility options that I saw. It is pretty OP. It's the highest damage I can do if it lands properly. O bound one, thy silence nearly deafens us. Foolishly we feared thee. Yet only by thine providence shall we find the one we seek. Yeah. Show reverence, O Mego, and show fear, thou approachest a great and terrible god. Though its worldly body be bound and defiled, the glory of its pure form endures. Ruler of this pantheon, its endless power shall attune us to the one greater still, a god of gods. Meager one, dost thou imagine thyself the equal of this god? Dost thou imagine thyself made in its image? Thou assume a similar shape, and a deep echo within thee seems familiar. Ah, what thoughts are these? Thou sowest blasphemies in our mind, wretch. Begone! We pray the god of nothingness silence thee forever. Thou art no god. Begone, pretend. I never claimed to be, you asshole. So anyways, yeah. The Hollow Knight B4. Yep. That almost right there confirms a theory I've had for some time. You know how when we take damage, the sound goes out and there's this black thing, but no scream? I mean, ignore the obvious fact that we have no voice. I think that's literally just what Abyss sounds like when it cries out. Double damage. Oh my goodness. So where's the bull crap one? Is that it? Okay, hold up. You know, I never fully answered you, Evo. The problem is I can think of a lot of books that would be better as video games. Like, essentially all of them. At least all the ones I like. Which I suppose isn't saying much. One moment, I gotta update a spreadsheet. I think I know what you mean, Eva, but I'm not sure. For me, gameplay in a book, in the literal sense of the word, would be the structure and style and approach of it, how long the chapters are, the usage of paragraphs, and formatting and indenting, all the mechanical sides of what makes the book as you're reading it. Okay. Let's see how long this takes. Because this is it. Well, it depends on the book, Evo. And I'd be like, tell me a book. But of course, you and I have probably never read the same books. So I have no idea what book you'd reference. Sure. Honestly, Evo probably hasn't read The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Oh, there it goes. That's probably just too far out. Cute. Look at the boss arena. Those are spikes too, which in this game is just a reset. Like you don't just take damage, you go, huh! I will tell you, there's one book that's better as a book than a game, and that's Shadows of the Empire. Because I've played Shadows of the Empire, the game, and it sucks. I've even shown that off on camera. Mischief beyond mischief. We cannot escape thee even in the highest, most distant of pantheons. O wielder of nail, O eater of soul, are thee a messenger of the gods or something stranger? We will not defy thee. Continue thy combat. We'll be listening closely. Okay, that's irritating. Thank you, Blade Ball. I'm glad I did it too. The Very Hungry Caterpillar could be a good, you know, like, game for the kiddo kind of a situation, yeah. I mean, there's no break today, RJ. It's a Saturday. Tizo! Well, okay.
Yes.
I'm bowing. The mini Grim is like, die. Just pure berserker at this point. Just, no, 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 no. I forget how much, but yes, Alex. These don't seem all that different, which I suppose is fine. Well, okay. That sounds mean. I'm gonna be real. Oh, absolutely, Trax, yeah. Speaking of bullcrap fights. I was gonna say, there's probably Pure Vessel, and then, you know, the boss we're going to go for at the end of all this. And Grim 2? Does that sound like the top 3?
Yes. Vamos. Finnel.
I mean, the Three Sisters looks like fun, honestly. I wish I could just do that fight rather than doing all this bullcrap. No, I'm not watching the video. I'm cheating. Go like bounce, bounce. Bow, up, bow. So you just have to go through 3 bullcrap marathons. No, excuse me. In order to gain access to the Radiant fights. Whatever they're called. Even though you've never actually fought those fights before. Very strange, but cool. Probably should fight off. What's with the golden leaf motif of this whole place? Did they ever explain that? Did they ever imply an explanation for that? Yeah, I saw the stronger videos. Nope, nope, nope. Hi, Grim. Oh, whatever. I bowed. I mean, as a reminder, we're in the dream of someone who's dead, who was tossed away amongst a bunch of garbage. Yeah, this guy. Sleeping god, we can barely feel thy presence amongst the green left behind. What strength thee once possessed fades beyond time and tune. Well, apparently she is not dead. Never mind. Such magnificent scale, even in decline, if only thee could teach us to grow so large. Is that in the background? I think that's in the background. To see that thee as thou once existed with land and dream and devotion, we would give our mind. Yeah, I have to admit, the thing about this whole thing, this whole game, honestly, lore-wise, that bothers me the most, is the very existence of the dream dimension and how it interacts with everything else. It is by far the vaguest bit of the lore, and you know me. I know, some people like vague. All I see when I see vague is nothing. There's nothing to think about, there's nothing to process, there's nothing to feel, and there's nothing to do. I don't even plan to even bring this up in the rumination because there's nothing to talk about. For God's sakes. This fight. See, that's the question, isn't it, F and Craig? If I was going to design the dream world, I would design the dream world. Get back here and die! Oh my god. This frickin' fight. And as always, there's actually a gradient of vague. There's such a thing as too vague and such a thing as too unvague. A lot of this game is pretty vague. But, like, the dream world is extremely vague. Honestly, I think some of this stuff would literally serve better to not be in lore. Hi, Nox. What are your guys? Nox, that's it. To just be straight up gameplay and not story. There's nothing wrong. We're just having a boss rush mode and not explaining it in lore. Interesting how his patterns are actually fairly similar. Just flying instead of skittering. Fly! Listen, Yoda. You're dead. Do they watch us struggle? Yep. Why do they watch us struggle? I have no idea. What are they? No idea. Why are they? No idea. I mean, there's some kind of religious cult, obviously, given their focus and emphasis on the quote-unquote higher beings. And there's a strong bit of evidence that what delineates a higher being from anyone else is their ability to manipulate and interact, let's say, control the dream. Since anybody can enter the dreams, and anyone can have dreams, that's how Radiance spread in the first place. But only higher beings seem to have the ability to influence those dreams, like Radiance. Oh, that's mean. That's mean. Oh, I don't like any of that. I don't like any of that. That's not a good mean, honestly. That sucks. That might... I don't know. I'm not even debating giving her a negative in general, because she sucks. Oh, check it out. Because these things do, like, collision damage, they don't actually have a hitbox. I can just float through them. Because they never programmed the spikes to have collision damage, only hurt boxes. That's not a dig. It makes perfect sense. There's no reason to program a hitbox or something like that. Excuse me. A collision box for that if you already have it completely covered by a hurt box. I already killed you a bunch. A lot, really. So there's the tree. Oh, tragedy, this majestic god evades our attunement with such ease. We live only to serve the gods, to seek them out. Why does she frustrate us? How does she hide from us? Does she diminish herself by choice? Oh, majestic, when we beg thee reveal ourselves, our mind is so much less without you in it. Hail, mother, we barely dare to think. The chance of meeting is too rare, but thine residence, could you be one of them? Pronoun game. So yeah, it had to have been Un, because, yeah, kind of going down the list of the higher beings. Dream wielders. Dreamwalkers? I like Dreamwalkers. I'm going to start calling them Dreamwalkers. Admittedly, completely stealing the idea from Magic the Gathering, but, you know, whatever. Buddy, nobody out-berserks me. Don't even try. I actually don't know, Frieza. A lot of older fantasy tends to steal a lot of things from a lot of things. Tolkien, excuse me. So who knows? Nope, nope, nope. You don't get to run. Whatever. Yes, summon your old, pathetic selves to explode on my face. It does sound like a Zote strategy right there. That's not true, Evo. I have dragons in my setting. It's brand new. Oh, God, the explosions hurt for 2. Jesus. Of course, I've never played Alundra. I was literally just doing a take on... So in Magic the Gathering, there's a concept called planeswalking. It's a higher level of magic than typical magic. And there's all sorts of lore stuff associated with it, which I won't bore you with right now. But the point is... spectators here, except for him, or it, them. Well, on that, we are just going to 100% disagree then, Tara. Sorry. That's a good question, Grazenors. The extent is and always has intended to not be defined as science fiction, fantasy, or anything else. That being said, by my own rules of definitions, it is firmly science fiction, even though magic is a regular and common element in it. So yeah, there's the worm, aka the Pale King. Even long departed, we feel the afterglow of the god power that sat this throne. It lays heavy upon this kingdom. That lingering power alone was beacon enough to draw us to Hallownest. How bright it must have been to mortal bugs stood before it. A god so strong yet erased so completely. Yeah, one of those little question marks that, to my knowledge, is never explained is where the hell the Pale King went off to. I think he honestly just peaced out. I think he decided that after trying to seal away the Radiance, yep, I'm good, and he just left. God King, you reduced your form to match our meager shells, but why shed so majestic a whole? Surely your true immensity could have inspired devotion and more. So, hardest fight in the game. I'm not even listening to it, honestly, Blue Hero. I'm sorry. I guess, so, okay, let me just make my point very thoroughly, and rather than talk about Tolkien in general, just talk about fiction in general. There's no such thing as something new. It doesn't exist. That doesn't mean we shouldn't try to make our own takes on things. It just means the idea of trying to say that Tolkien wrote something new is, in my opinion, laughable. Because it's the same as trying to say that J.K. Rowling created something new. Well, she absolutely did not. Now, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with that. Obviously. The only thing there is wrong with that is when someone tries to pretend... Oh, is this it? Fair. Let's go ahead. Is this it? Wow, that was actually faster than I thought. Okay. I'm just gonna watch for a second. That is really fast. Very little screw-up time there. It's like the same general Phase 1, just much faster. Phase 2. I'm waiting for her to start tossing the holy nukes of death. Yeah, that would have straight up killed me right there. No, that's my point, though, Evo. I'm sorry, I didn't get to finish saying my point because we got to the final boss unexpectedly. The point is, I feel too many people spend too much focus on trying to do something new or different rather than just doing their own thing and just trying to make it the best thing they can. I will never write an original work in my entire life, but I don't care. I still want to make. You know what I mean? Hi. That's input, by the way. Oh, also time. So, ending 4. This is the part that's different. If we did a really long, boring thing, which obviously we're not doing. The end. And that is it for realsies. As usual, kind of an empty ending. Not much to say about that. So there's New Game Plus. We've already judged the outro. I think we all know what darkness is. No parents. Well, don't forget, there's another ending which is even stupider than this one. The meme ending. Yeah, Mushroom Man, which is just to be continued. Your guess is as good as mine, Callie. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. Like I said, a little bit too much vagueness just makes me kind of go, okay, and walk away from it. I want to make sure I gave a positive, which I did. And a negative, which I did. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, Mushroom Man is the... It's called what it is. It's the dog ending. Well, Shishki, if you were paying attention, the answer to that is no. Not that I blame you for not paying attention. There's a lot going on right now. Oh yeah, no, Hornet's fine. She's fine. She's a player character. Player characters can survive anything. No, honestly, I'm good. I really do have other things to do. Oops. I don't want to sound negative. It's just I've got other things to do. Cheater! Yeah, it's just bonk. That'd actually be funny. Hmm. Yeah, she has really high plot armor. She's fine. She's fine. I remember that crazy noise. Yeah, Warcraft 2 had built-in cheats, and it would give you a cheat ranking instead of a score at the end of the map. The Sisters of Battle is the only one I was debating. Because all the other ones were very clear and obvious additional positives. Sisters of Battle is a unique one because it's a mutator, but it's a fairly significant mutator. Adding a third character to that fight is not a small change. I know I can try it out, but I have a headache, I'm tired, and I want to be done with this game. To say that as nicely as I possibly can. But I think that's enough of a mutator to qualify. Like I already said, I think that qualifies. So oh, please don't, Alex. So let's do some math, shall we? Figure out how this sucker ranked. Oh, right. No, I needed to add a negative, didn't I? I did. Yeah, no eyes. I forgot about no eyes. Let me double check. Preferred ending? I mean, they all kind of suck, so I don't really have a preference there. Yeah. Whoops. Whatever. Didn't mean to do that. What did I miss? I mean, I guess I didn't do the one flower thing. I didn't finish out all the zotes. Oh, yeah, and I didn't get... Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I missed one mask piece and one vessel fragment. And that's what it's counting, because 112, right? To my knowledge, 112 is the top. Very Donkey Kong. Yeah, 30 hours. It's. I'm usually pretty good with my estimates. It's kind of the outlier when I'm not. All right, math time, math time. So, hang on. Let's get a little music going, just a little. Oh, you know what? I have a better idea. Let's just quit the game, never play it again. Um, replayability. We never actually codified that. I'm pretty sure this is getting one positive for replayability, but if anybody wants to share a thought on the matter, I am listening. Um, I'm listening, although I don't have nearly as good a voice as he does. Hey, Imperial Star Destroyer. I'm surprised anyone else even heard of Frasier at this point. The show, not the actor. I mean, no, I agree. One, replayability absolutely makes sense. It does. I will admit this game, in my opinion, is legitimately too long. It's nowhere near as bad as some of the other games we've covered, but I do think that between the things that were negatives, which I've already given negatives for, it just kind of starts padding itself out after a certain point. My opinion. In fact, if I was to define this, and I plan to say this in the rumination, this is a very clear-cut example, yet again, of a first game. There's some really great ideas, some genuine talent, and some awesome storytelling, which is hampered by the fact that it feels very obvious that they were just kind of figuring out how to make a video game. This is a pretty damn good track. I'd say this and the green one are probably my favorites, but there's three songs that really worked for me, and I'm going to make accordance of one of them. It's this, the green plate, the green path, and the city are the three big ones. Hang on, let me see if I can. No, don't. Oh, for God's sakes. That's a good question, Act. I'm going to listen to it for a second while I do some math. The reason I'm so hesitant, Shishki, is it's not that it wasn't a good scene, it just feels a little bit too empty of a scene for me, if that makes any kind of sense. So, those of you who saw it or know it, what do you feel about the climbing out of the abyss sequence? It's a storytelling sequence, where you play us back, way back in the day, when we climbed out and had the gates shut right in our face. Oh, dude, Mina the Hollower looks so good! Sorry, mega gush moment, but I am extremely hyped about Mina the Hollower. That looks so damn good. I also backed it. Let's see, I've backed Mina the Hollower. I've got like 3 games right now I'm backing. I did give a plus to the... Let me double check that. Yes. Plus 24 is the Abyss plus. Let's see, what the heck am I backing? Mina the Hollower, Aedan Chronicles, Sea of Stars, and I think that's it. Because Wrath of the Righteous came out. I was backing that one too. So if anybody's interested, those are all awesome games. Anyways, don't know why I bothered to look it up. I agree that the game is a bit overtuned, which kind of ties into something I already mentioned. Okay. I'll go ahead and acquiesce to the crowd. I almost started typing Shishki. Shishki gets a plus to story. Here's the other song, by the way. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, Crazy Horse. Take your time, do it proper, do it right, don't rush, don't crunch. We're past that. Yeah, Silk Song is another one. We don't even have a release window for Silk Song, and we shouldn't. Me too, Crazy Norse. I should also probably mention, every Suikoden game we've reviewed so far has reviewed worse than I was kind of hoping or expecting it to. And we're reviewing Suikoden 1 soon, which I also don't think is going to review particularly well. My fear here is that I'm not sure I'm as much of a Suikoden fan as I thought I was. So it's funny you say that, Imperial Star Destroyer. I was actually, I will make a note of that, but I was actually playing around with it for a few minutes, and it's actually a really hard song to work with, so I'm gonna have to think carefully about how I do it. I mean, you know, I'm not a huge Castlevania fan, and then I played Bloodstained, so we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so that gives us a net plus 30 freaking 4 to story. Something I stand by, I might add. Gameplay is plus 13. Which honestly, if I'm gonna sound, this is gonna be really weird, is higher than I was expecting. Think of that what you will. That's still quite respectable. That's still quite good. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. The boss fights absolutely salvage the gameplay score. The boss fights drag the gameplay score up. Which makes sense since that's so much of the focus of the game. Oh, I think the song just stopped. Screw it. Back to Green Path. Screw it. Yeah, down 2, but definitely a net positive on this. Big net positive on it. 75. Sorry. Yeah, a 58% ratio on gameplay, for a bit of perspective. Which is... So for those of you who don't know how the ratio thing works, I think I'm actually using the wrong word. 50% is as many pluses as negatives. So anything above 50 is good, and anything below 50 is bad, not negative. 58% is not great. It's good. It's not great. Oh, and before you ask, the story ratio is 89%, so... Double check my math. Can I get a drum roll, please? Yeah, that tracks. that tracks too. That's funny. Ladies and gentlemen, golden number of 121.36. Good boss fights and an excellent degree of storytelling drag this game up much higher than I honestly thought it was going to be. And anybody who knows anything knows 120 plus is damn good. That puts it around Oblivion, puts it above Ghost Trick and Cyber Shadow. Not quite reaching the heights of something like, say, Super Mario World, but that's pretty damn high, and I stand by that. So, let's check the guest sheet, which I think I have over here. Yep, here it is. Let's see who got closest. 1, 2, 1, 3, 6. Yes, someone guessed 200. No way in hell. Eitri guessed 120. That might be it right there. Yeah, looks like that's it. And yes, quite a bit below Dread, because of course it is. Dread is made by seasoned vets who spent years working on it with a huge amount of backing and polish. Dread should be better. But then again, most AAA titles should be better than indies, and they usually aren't, so I suppose it's fair. But then again, there's also the Nintendo corollary. So that's whatever. But yes, Eitri wins, and is putting that towards Days Gone. As usual, there will be no additional stream today. I don't know when I'll be streaming Monday, or if I'll be streaming Monday. But we will definitely, at the very latest, be starting Outer Wilds on Tuesday. Actually, I shouldn't commit to that. Whenever I can stream again is when I'll be streaming again. Monday at the earliest, and whenever I can speak again at the latest. Because I don't know what they're going to be doing to my teeth. It could be nothing. In fact, what I'm honestly expecting is I'll go in and they'll be like, oh, yep, nope, you definitely need this procedure. We'll get to see you in about a month. So I'll just live with the, the infection and the pain and all that for about a month. Because that's probably what's going to happen. But yes, Outer Wilds will be next. Not Outer Worlds. Reminder, there is a difference between this game. We've already covered Outer Worlds. But yes, the next game we'll be covering is Outer Wilds. And I'm curious of something. Hang on, really quick. So someone asked if this is the highest ranking Metroidvania we have, other than Metroid Dread, which stomps it just into the ground. Let's see here. So we haven't actually covered that many. Time Spinner got 157.01 for perspective. So Time Spinner outpaces it. And I think that's it. We also haven't covered that many, like I just said. In fact, I'm struggling to find another one really quick here. This game scored better than Outer Worlds, probably because Outer Worlds gameplay kind of sucked. I still like the game. It's just, Have we covered another Metroidvania? I guess there's Mega Man ZX2, but that scored really badly, to my dismay. Yep, that scored a 31. And as far as Souls-like, so let's see, Elden Ring, you all know, that's the one you really care about, right? Let me tell you about Bloodborne first. Bloodborne scored a 61, so this stomped Bloodborne. And Code Vein was a 106, so this does surpass Code Vein. No, Blade of all. The other one is Elden Ring. So do you think this... Yes, this game stomps Elden Ring as well. Elden Ring got 80, which is actually a pretty serviceable score. But, yeah, this one stomps Elden Ring as well. So, not the best Metroidvania we've ever covered, but this is actually the best Souls-like we've covered. Which, yeah, I'm willing to stand behind that sentence. I look forward to dodging the YouTube comments on that. But otherwise, I'm going to go and figure out a rumination. Then I got to do a whole bunch of chores and errands and stuff. And then all the other things I do. So, I'll see you next time. Hope you had fun. And if you didn't, then I suck.